So this season, there's been a lot of talk about Manchester United and the midfield position, and over the past months, we have spent a lot of time talking about the targets of who Manchester United wants to buy in the midfield and the likely targets that the Ineos group are going to be going for. But before we go into that, you know that if you have been watching Old Trafford, you are going to know that I am a big fan and a big admirer of certain midfielders. And if I had the options of signing a particular midfielder for Manchester United this season, it is definitely going to be Bruno Guimaraes, because I've always said that he has the leadership skills, he had the mentality to win trophies. He's a very big player, he's a player that shows up in big games, he's a player that has a very big personality that tries to shows up for his team. And also, if I can't get Bruno Guimaraes, then definitely I should be looking at Elliot Anderson. And if I cannot get Elliot Anderson, definitely it should be Sandro Tonali. But a news broke out on Monday afternoon that Manchester United are interested in signing Matheus Fernandes from West Ham, and he's a name I've mentioned quite a few times on Old Trafford, and today I'm going to tell you why I've been mentioning his name in Old Trafford. So before we go into talking about tactics on how he's going to help Manchester United in the first phase and in the second phase and also in the final phase, let's sort of talk about the characteristics or the personality of Matheus Fernandes. Matheus Fernandes reminds me a lot of Mateus. He's a player that has this sort of arrogance or this sort of big personality on the pitch. He's a player that likes to take responsibility. You could see that whenever, before he traps the ball, he tries to scan, puff his chest out, try to, be big on the pitch. And this is the sort of player that Manchester United sort of, should be looking at. And also, if you look at the first phase, how he helps West Ham in the first phase is that he's that player that likes to drop deep, to receive the ball first and try to orchestrate. He's like the orchestrator of everything that West Ham does in terms of the first phase, in terms of build-up. He's this player that is very comfortable, he's press resistant, he likes to drop deep, to receive the ball from deeper position, and then to spot runners in behind. And you know that this is something that Bruno Fernandes does a lot in Manchester United. And if we have a player that Matheus Fernandes alongside Bruno Fernandes that does this particular thing for Manchester United, then we are definitely going to be very deadly when it comes to transition, because this season he has been one of the best passers in the Premier League. His passing is so precise and so accurate. And when I first watched Matheus Fernandes, I was so amazed on the kind of player that West Ham got in their hands, because from what the Matheus Fernandes I'm seeing in West Ham and the Matheus Fernandes I'm seeing in Southampton, they are definitely two different players. Because when Matheus Fernandes was in Southampton, he was more of a ball carrier. He's a player that likes to carry the ball over large distances with pace. But if you look at the sort of player he has become in West Ham, particularly this season, he's this player that likes to drop deep, receive the ball, help in the first phase, and then distribute the pass. And if you look at his contribution to West Ham team progression this season, you're going to find out that out of 100% team progression, Matheus Fernandes has been involved in 13.1% of West Ham's progression this season from the first phase. That tells you that he is the player for Manchester United. So another skill set that Manchester United should be looking at when recruiting player is definitely versatility. In as much as Manchester United needs 3 midfielders this summer, we also need midfielders that can be able to play in every position. We need midfielders that can be versatile, and that is Matheus Fernandes for you, because he can play in a variety of positions. If you look at Paris Saint-Germain recently, they have players that can do all things. They can play in various positions. They can play both in the midfield and in the attack, and Matheus Fernandes is definitely that player, because Matheus Fernandes can play as a lone 6, he can play like a number 8, he can play like a number 10, he can also play behind the striker because he has a very good goal instinct. And this is something that Manchester United need. This is a particular skill set that we need right now in our team. We need players that are versatile. We need players that can be able to do all things. And also, just like I said, Matheus Fernandes this season has transformed into a deep line player. He has been a player that plays really deep and tries to detect the play and try to connect passing circuits, try to break passing lines, and he's a player that likes to just keep the tempo of the game really calm, just like Roddy Hernandez tries to distribute the ball, try to control the tempo, the way the team play. But when he was in West Ham, I think he was a bit more of an expressive player. He was expressing himself, he was constantly taking people on, he was constantly running defenders down. But in West Ham, I think there has been a lot of change, and if you look at his passing map comparing last season and this season, you're going to find out that his passing accuracy this season has improved compared to last season. He's a player that knows how to really give those pinpoint passes that can lead to counter attacks. He's also very good in set pieces, because of course if you want to get players, you need players that can offer different skill set for your team. And having another player that is very good in set pieces, just like Ahmad, Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes is also very good for Manchester United, because that way we will become more deadly in set pieces. And also, regardless of the manager that is going to be Manchester United manager next season, I feel that regardless of your tactical approach, Matheus Fernandes is definitely a player that is going to suit any tactical approach, because he's a detector, and he can be a detector. He can be very good in fast transition. He can be able to cover a lot of ground with pace and agility. He's a player that can be able to slow the tempo of the game. He can play in a possession-based system. So regardless of who the manager is, I feel Matheus Fernandes is a player that is going to be very good in playing alongside Kobe Menu next season. So one of the final abilities we want to be talking about when it comes to Matheus Fernandes is his goal scoring ability. This is a player that knows how to score with his legs. I feel he can score with free kicks. He has a very good shot power. He has a very good eye for goal, and he's a player that he acts like a poacher, because especially in situations where he's not taking set piece duties, he's a player that likes to stay closer to goal, just to pounce on rebounds and all that. If you look at his goal for West Ham, he has scored a variety of goals, long range shots, goes from rebound, go from inside the box, goes from outside the box, goes from the side of the box. So this is a player that is definitely going to help Manchester United in several ways, because in as much as he's very good in passes, in terms of controlling tempo, in terms of being very crucial in the team, in terms of how the impact he brings in the midfield, he's also a player that can help us in goal scoring, because if you see, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes has always been the midfielders that has been scoring a lot of goals for Manchester United for a very long time. We have not really had a midfielder that can score more than 5 to 10 goals in the season. Probably Pogba, Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro has been the midfielders that has been able to give us these ranges when it comes to goal. But I feel that if Manchester United succeed in getting Matheus Fernandes, is also going to help us. He's going to contribute a lot when it comes to goal scoring. So I want you guys to give me your thoughts on the comment section of if you feel Matheus Fernandes is going to be the right buy for Manchester United. To like, to share, to subscribe to Old Trafford. See you guys in my next video.